Hi everyone, in this video I want to talk to you about blues and more specifically my favorite trick when it comes to try to sound a little bit legit. So full disclaimer, I don't consider myself a blues musician at all. I think I'm more of a jack of all trades, and I don't mean to offend anyone by implying that blues comes down to simple tricks. It's a very rich and complex style, and I've had my periods when I started music where I dabbled into blues and I was really into it, but I never took the time to really specialize myself into it. But still, it's a very common style if you go to jam session or even just teaching with my students. It's very common that people would be asking questions about blues, and this is my favorite trick. So it's very simple. It's about using the Dorian scale, which you might already know. But before that, let's talk a little bit about what is blues for those that might not know yet. And I'm strictly talking here about the harmony concept, the theory, the theoretical form of blues. So I guess this could apply as much for traditional blues as for other more modern type of blues, as well as I guess rockabilly or anything that really uses the same form. Lots of jazz standards, for instance, are also using this 12-bar blues form. So okay, let's dive in. Now, a blues is in its most traditional form made of a 12-bar cycle, and it uses three chords: a first, a fourth, and a fifth degree. So here I've played over a blues in A, which is a very common key for blues. And as you can see, there is one specificity about blues, which is it's only using seventh chords, so dominant chords. Those are chords that are meant to bring tension. So in that regards, blues is very different from a more traditional, conventional harmony based on diatonic scale. So 12 bars, three chords, and yeah, it's a cycle that you might want to get used to. It's very important to be able to hear those chord changes to anticipate when they're coming, because of course a very important aspect of any sort of soloing or melody or improvising is about resolution, and so playing the notes from the chords when the chords appears, and that's what allows your melody to outline the chords progression. But here I won't be talking about resolution. I'll be specifically talking about the larger tool set that you can use, and it's this Dorian scale I was talking about. So here you can see that the blues that I was playing was in A, which means that the chords that I had were A7, then D7, which I played as a D9, but it's basically the same thing. Then A7 again for 2 bars, then E7 or E9, same thing, D9 or 7, same thing, A7 and E7. So that's the cycle. Probably most of you already know about this, but yeah. Anyway, it's always good to have a little reminder of those things. Okay, now the trick that I was talking about is, oops, sorry, wrong camera. Here it goes. Okay, the trick that I was talking about, I guess I'm not the only one using this, but for some reason nobody never explained this to me. And yeah, when you start playing blues licks and such, I guess the first thing that you find, or at least as a guitarist or a wannabe guitarist, the first thing that you learn is to play the pentatonic scale. And more specifically, if it's a blues in A, you'll be suggested to play the pentatonic minor of A A minor. And there is a very good reason for that, and it's because the mix of the major third and minor third gives this very specific bluesy tone. So if you're improvising with a pentatonic minor scale in A over an A7, which has this C sharp here, then what you hear is a mix of a major chord with a major third here, and the minor third, which is here, which is C natural. So what A Dorian is basically the second mode coming from the key of G major. So the tools that I am using when I'm improvising over this this blues in A is basically tools that are coming from the G major tonality. So here we have this scale, which is, so those are the notes coming from G major, but instead of starting from G, it starts from A. So we have A, B, C natural, D, E, F sharp, G, and A. And as you can see, all those notes, all the notes from the A7 chords are part of this, except for the C sharp. So there is a friction, there is a tension here happening with this note here. And what we have on top of the chord is the ninth, which is the B, and the major sixth, which is F sharp, and then this minor third here. And it sounds like this. The two blended together sounds like this. Okay, so the reason it works so well, like I said, is because using G major or A Dorian, we have all of the same notes coming from the A7, but the major third. So that one is given by the chords, the comping, and then the melody will be outlining tension notes. And then we have the second chord, which is D7. And D7, so here I took the same notes from G major or A Dorian, and I'm starting them from D here. And as you can see, all of the notes from D7, which are D, F sharp for the major third, A for the fifth, and C natural C for the seventh, the minor seventh. All those notes are already part of the A Dorian scale, or in a more broader sense of the G major tonality, and it sounds like this. So it sounds very obvious in a sense, because, well, G major is the natural tonality, it's the major tonality, the major key in which D7 happens naturally. It's the fifth degree of G major. So this is the same sets of notes. So from A to A with just an F sharp and everything else natural. And then from D to D with just, again, F sharp and everything else as natural. So this single scale, this single set of notes works perfectly well with both the first degree of your blues and the fourth degree of your blues. And then we have the fifth degree. And here, so that's an E7. So we have E, then we have G sharp as the major third, then we have B as the fifth, and natural D, D as the minor seventh. And here what we have in the scale that we're using is natural G. So that again brings tension between the chords, which has a major third, and the scale that we're using, which is which held the natural G, which would be the minor third. And Yeah, there is another note that brings a lot of tension here. First, let's listen to it. Okay, so we have E, then F sharp, then G natural G, which is a minor third, then we have A, B, and then C, natural C. A natural C, in the context of a E7, that's a flat 6. And that brings a lot of tension. So, in effect, this chord, which is E7, I've played it as in the example that I was playing, I've played it as E9. But really, when you have a flat or sharp 9, 11, or 13 or 6, it's the same thing. That spells altered chord, and altered chords are very interesting because they brings a lot of tension. And so when you get to the next chords, you will get a natural resolution, even if the chords that you're moving towards is also a chord that is, in a sense, a bit tensed. So it sounds like this. And again, that one would have tension. So it's a very convenient way of just restricting yourself to a set of notes that are working nicely and brings some interesting colors to each chords. And the easiest way to find this Dorian concept over blues is basically, if you only know about your major scales, then if you're playing a blues in a certain key, say A, then you go a whole step down from that key. So from a blues in A, we would be playing all the notes coming from the G major tonality. And there are a lot of tools that you might already know from the G major tonality, arpeggios, triads, etc., etc. So here is a backing track for the blues that I was just playing. The backing track will be put in the description to download. And yeah, let's hear a bit how this scale, so this Dorian scale concept sounds over the backing track. So first we'll have a loop with just the A7 chord, so it sounds like this. And I will be playing my A Dorian scale. I'll be playing here. So we have A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, and A. And it sounds like this. So yes, very simple. And now let's do the same thing over D7. So D7 will sound like this. So I have my D here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And so I'll be playing here. And it sounds like this. So again, this is D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, and D. So yes, working nicely again. And now for the third, the last chord, which is the fifth degree from A, so that's E7. Let me just set the loop here. And oh no. Yeah, sorry for this. My computer was misbehaving. So we have our loop for the E7, which sounds like this. And we have our scale, which would be here. So we have E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and E. And it sounds like this. So there you have it. I hope this will be interesting content for you, and if it is, don't hesitate to say so in the comment section or ask questions. You can send me emails or you can reach me on social networks. And yeah, also if you have feedback about the way I'm doing what I'm doing these videos, the way I'm creating this content here. If you think there would be interesting topic that I should cover, or just critics about, I don't know, whatever, let me know. I'm eager to learn and to improve, and hopefully you will be able to use this to create cool music. And if so, let me know. So the link to download the backing track is in the description. And see you next time. Cheers!